we want to get started on the LA model and the LA program at FIU. You can tell that this is an active learning classroom. And one of the things that are unique about the design of this classroom is that if you are used to lecture, you have no idea where to stand. Because anywhere I'm going to stand, someone is not going to see me. And that's by design. So we'll try to avoid a lot of presentations, and I think it's going to work well later on. We'll do a little bit of overview, and then what we want to do is hear about your context and let you work with your teams. Because one of the goals of this workshop is to create an action plan where you go back and you have a plan. You think together what would be the next step when it comes to working with LAs. Okay? Does it sound like a good idea? Yes. Yeah? All right. So just getting started on the LA model. So learning assistants are undergraduate students. They work with faculty. They're prepared with faculty experts or content experts, the professors, the instructors, and through a special pedagogy course. And they're prepared to facilitate small group interactions in active learning classrooms. Now, the model itself came from the University of Colorado in Boulder. It started in 2003. It was brought to FIU in 2008 by Laird Kramer and Leanne Wells. There are 4 main goals to the model. The first one is support course transformation, supports you when you decide to go from passive learning environments to active learning environments that are rich in student interaction. The next goal is to encourage conversation across disciplines. We're very excited that now we not only have STEM, but non-STEM as well. So conversation between these disciplines and education researchers in order to think together how to design effective learning environment. Another goal is to recruit teachers for K through 12. We have great STEM majors. Some of them are not aware that teaching in K through 12 is a great career, and they can do that. And they're not, so we're giving them some opportunities to explore teaching. And the last one, the LA model is truly a change model that helps change practices, faculty practices, department practices, and practices across institutions. I want to mention that our sister program, FIU Teach, is also is the part that take care of the teaching recruitment and preparation at FIU. Everything, all of that is kind of facilitated through the LA program. It can be facilitated through the LA program together, of course, through collaboration with multiple units across the university. Now, a few words about FIU. We're a Hispanic serving university. We have currently 56,000 students, and 61% of our students are Hispanic. Our program is pretty large. We hire typically every semester more than 300 learning assistants, and they work with 60 to 70 faculty and across 11 departments, and they have a reach of more than 10,000 students. So that's a large scale. I would say that we're the largest in the nation, and the program now it's implemented, the LA model is implemented across 60 to 70 universities, nationally and internationally. We're very, very fortunate that we have the support of the provost and the president, and that this is expressed also through the fact that we have 14 active learning classrooms that allow our faculty to implement and try and be innovative in their teaching. A little bit about the evolution of the program here at FIU. We're now 10. There are 10 years of having LAs. We started with 8 LAs in physics labs. Laird can tell you more about that. He started it with Leanne Wells. And then gradually it grew to have more than 10, 11, even 14 sometimes departments participating and having LAs in courses. So that means that in any given moment when you go when you're on campus and you walk into a classroom, there is a good chance you'll see LAs. And the interactions vary. It's a very adaptable model. There is no recipe or manual. This is the strength of it. And this is why it's going to look different. So you heard some examples earlier about physics modeling. That was about the middle classroom that you can see there. It's a studio classroom that seats 78 students. And you can see in LA, she's not lecturing there. What she's doing is facilitating a circle or a board meeting. Because what happens during physics class, they explore phenomenon, they write their thoughts on a whiteboard, and then they present it to the student, to the rest of the group, through a whiteboard meeting, so a board meeting. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to reach a consensus and try to reach a model, like build a model that will explain what they have experienced before. Now you can see another example of interactions in a chemistry class. That's on the left. It's a big auditorium. It seats 250. You can imagine the regular auditoriums where it's just rows. One trick that we use sometimes is to suggest that you'll use alternating rows so the LAs can go through and reach more people and more students. You can see the LAs there with the orange star. You can see how good they blend. You cannot tell, without the star, you won't be able to tell, unless they're standing and it's obvious, who the LA is. And this is one of the strengths as well. The classroom on the right is an engineering classroom. It's a typical 40 to 50 seats classroom with elongated tables. And it's turned into a little lab where they do design, engineering design. And you can see how the LA is facilitating the interaction there. Okay? This is how it looks here in our classroom. If you look around, we have whiteboards around, all around. There are microphones. There are the screens. So there is a little bit of technology. Can you tell who the LA is? Any guesses?
The tall fellow for this one.
Okay. Here's one LA. They're actually seating. If there's a space, they will sit and facilitate the interaction. Can you see the teacher? She is way in the back. She's not at the podium. She's way in the back. It's actually this side. And she has more face time with the students because it's active. It allows that. And there's another LA in the background. Can you see the LA? Yeah, good job. There's another LA here. And there are many others that are not within the picture.
How many does this auditorium seat?
I'm sorry?
How many does this seat?
178. Yeah. And I believe we have some faculty that are actually teaching here, even on Monday. Right. So please, if you feel you guys want to add, please do. Now, we think about LAs, so connecting it a little bit to the culturally responsive teaching, we think about our students as bringing a lot to the classroom. They have a lot of assets. They have a lot of experience, their academic preparation, their cultural experiences, their ethnicity, their gender, all of that feed into learning science and learning other things. They bring it to the class, and they're able at this point when they're walking to our classroom to learn on their own and do stuff on their own. There are some things they can't do just yet. But there is this middle area where a little bit of help is going to go a long way. And that's what we call the proximal, the zone of proximal development. This is where we think LAs are active. This is where a little bit of clarification, a little bit of questions, a little bit of just feeling that I can do it. It's like, you can do it, just try it, just think about it. Take the time to think about it. That helps and can create the next jump in learning. There are many indications that the LA model at large and works. And also here at FIU, there are different ways to measure effectiveness of the program. We've seen improved passing grades across courses at FIU and nationally. We've seen improved learning gains on concept inventories. These are exams that are measuring gains in conceptual understanding. We now know, we have also research to show that what LAs do associate with gains in students' metacognitive awareness. This helping students, which means that students are taking control of their learning, they regulate their learning, and LAs do certain things that happen that support that. We also, we have research that show that students feel that they can make it through and become scientists and musicians and historians and physicists and biologists and so on. They feel competent. And we see that LAs also play a role in that. And if they feel competent in doing the science, that's an indicator of retention because they're going to stay within the major and graduate in a STEM degree, for example. And overall, and you could hear it before, we see it also in our research that LAs help students feel safe, comfortable in classrooms. They get the message that it's okay to make mistakes. Sometimes they'll see their LAs making mistakes. They just took the course one time. They were selected because they got a good grade. It doesn't mean they're experts, and they model it. And one of the things that is very important that students are noticed now. Someone knows them. Many times LAs are assigned with sections, 20 to 30 people, 20 to 30 students, that they get to know during the semester. So they will check on someone if they see that there's a change in behavior. They'll notice it. They'll have this relationship, and that's very, very powerful. Some examples of improvement or benefits to students. This is a variety of courses where we've seen improved passing rates in LA-supported courses versus non-supported. And this is across physics, biology, human anatomy, biochemistry, organic chemistry, and math. This is specifically at the Mastery Math Lab that you'll have a chance to visit on Monday if you're interested. We also have a session tomorrow that is dedicated to LAs in math. And you can see here 4 courses. These are the clusters of bars where you see a gradually increased passing rates, sometimes not so gradual and very fast jump in passing rates. This is also a good place to mention that the LA model works well and with other models. For example, here there was also an implementation of faculty support. Okay, so you can see how it works along together.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Could you go back a slide?
Yeah.
So I teach Biology 2010, Bio 1.
Yeah.
And it's
BS.
BSc 2010.
This is
So
ours.
It seems like the improvement here is a little more modest. I wonder whether there's any reason or thoughts about
Some of them include a lot of instructors. Some of them include different times. Some of our courses already transformed since 2009, okay, or 10. So it's kind of varying. I think that's always a question of like, what is the implementation is like, how long it was there, how long, like if the faculty have some support and all of that. So all these factors are kind of bunched together into these numbers. So I would say that this is a limitation, yeah.
And is this just the lectures, or does this include the labs?
So these are lecture courses.
You know, the entire class.
Now this is, of course, and I would say that when you are trying to assess if your program, if your course, and if what you're doing is working, you should use multiple measures, right? Because, yeah, and it's great that you saw such a big jump.
Yeah.
Because that indicates improved learning, yeah.
But yeah, the pass rate didn't change.
But pass rate, right. And I have to say that's something we mention a lot because everyone cares about the passing grades. And of course, because that allows students to take the next step and actually take the next course and not retake courses. So it's an important indicator. Yeah. Yes.
Of success, right, that they could succeed in it.
Yeah, you're totally on point, because one of the questions we want to ask is like, what do we want our students to leave the course with?
Yes.
What do we want to get? What is the outcome? And then to design an assessment that speaks to that. Yes, totally. Any other questions?
Quantitative thing you can
And
measure.
right, so it does not have to be quantitative in nature. It can be qualitative. It can take all kind of forms. And you know, this is where sometimes the conversation with education researchers or other people across disciplines can help, because maybe you can adopt some tools that they have used. And the LA Alliance and the LA Alliance resources is very, very helpful in providing these examples. So just keep it in mind. Okay, so we talked about the benefit to the students, and these were only a few examples. Now the benefits for the LAs. We have seen that if we look at graduation rates, and these are 6 years graduation rates. Now we need to update it to 4, but this is previous analysis we have done. We've seen that LAs graduate, higher number of LAs graduate in 6 years time in compared to non-LAs. When we control for certain variables that are relevant. And I want you to take a quick look at this chart. On the right side, you can see, on the left side, you can see the LA's major. And on the right side, you can see the disciplines that the LAs work in. Tell me what you think. A few observations. And if you do, please grab the microphone so everyone can hear you. Go ahead. Oops.
Okay, sorry about that. The observation here,
You need to continuously.
my green light's gone. Okay, I'll talk really loud. So the observation at this table was, we assumed that the bars were relative percentages.
Right, it's like the number of LAs that
Yeah.
are, yeah.
And so while engineering is in the top 3 for majors, we don't see them on the right. Does that mean engineering has not adopted the LA model?
It's not as expanded as in engineering courses just yet. Although there are multiple efforts going on, but it's not as much as the others
As the others.
for now. They're actually, like the purple bar is the one, oh, you mean major?
Right, so physics majors tend to help, it looks like, in math classes, and engineering students help in physics classes.
Yes, there are less numbers, so it's kind of like the resolution is a little bit, yeah. But they help in a variety of classes, yeah. Any other observations? I mean, for us, when we've seen it, there are comments that I haven't seen, maybe? So for us, there is one philosophy.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think a lot of non-STEM LAs are helping with STEM.
Which may bring them to STEM
Yes.
or not, but we'll give them, we don't necessarily want to take them away from anywhere, but we do want to expose them. Undergrad, as we know, undergrad is a good time to be exposed to different disciplines, and it seems like the program allows that.